wasn't the brightest spark in the box. And the interesting thing was, he requested to the college, I want to be treated like an ordinary student. So he turned up here by helicopter and landed over there. They had a huge party to celebrate, just like any other ordinary student. They let him into his accommodation, but it was only about 5 times as big as all the other ordinary students.
Wow.
So it was a bit of a joke, really. He also had this bodyguard that, had to attend all of his lessons and studied with him in the library. When it came to the end of the year, the bodyguard decided to sit the exam with the prince, because he had to be in the exam room anyway. And he actually came out with a better degree than the Prince Charles. The bodyguard got a very respectable 2-1, the prince only managed a 2-2. So it was like, the bodyguard got a B, he got a C. Which was quite entertaining. But there you go. So we have passed the biggest and the richest college, Trinity, founded by King Henry VIII. And here we have St. John's, the second largest, founded by King Henry VIII's grandmother, Lady Margaret de Beaufort. And they do not like each other because they are the biggest and the second biggest. They've always been in competition.
In the UK. This is the biggest in the UK?
Our biggest college out of the Cambridge University.
Okay.
Cambridge University is made up of about 31 colleges. This is the largest with about 1,200 students and the wealthiest. Kind of Trinity and St. John's have always kind of fought to be the top college, to own the most land, to be the richest, to have the best students and such forth. But St. John's is the oldest. It had its 500th anniversary last year. It was founded in 1511. And to celebrate this, they even had a visit from the Queen. They celebrated Cambridge, and shortly after we had our royal wedding. Did you watch that?
We were here for it.
Oh really? Wow. I thought it was quite boring.
It was.
Yeah. But yeah, the Queen named them the Duke and the Duchess of Cambridge. So it's all rather fitting. So we have this spectacular building to our left, the New Court of St. John's. Built in the early 19th century, so very famous for its neo-Gothic architecture. And this whole thing, this almost castle that the students nicknamed the Wedding Cake, is all accommodation, all dormitory. So the students get to live there. They only pay about £80 a week to live in this amazing accommodation. So, has anybody been to Venice?
No.
Venice? There's a very famous bridge in Venice called the Bridge of Sighs. Named so because it was built in a prison as where the prisoners would cross before they were executed in the execution chambers. So they'd stop on the bridge, look over the beautiful views of Venice, have one last sigh before they were... So this is our Bridge of Sighs, so a kind of copy of the one in Venice. We do not kill anybody here, but it is where the students cross before they take their exam results, and take their exams, so there is also a lot of signs.
A lot of signs.
And these bars are built so they can't escape from their exams. Really. Yeah, very beautiful bridge. You may notice a few things about St. John's. This side of the bridge, if you look in all the corners, you've got these really beautiful carvings and decorations. But we will see on the other side it looks very dull. Basically St. John's ran out of money to put buildings. They decorated one side but left the other very plain. But only the students and the service would really see the side, so it didn't matter to them. And we will also, as we get around the back of the new court, you see this is all made up of stone. The back, they ran out of money and had to build it out of bricks. So, you would have thought if you were going to build a building this big, you'd make sure you have the money to complete it. But yeah, they built the back into bricks, and to cover up, the brickwork, because it's very cheap, they planted this plant, the Virginia creeper. We will see as we come up here, it's very beautiful. It floods the whole wall. And this plant goes to a really beautiful, like purpley maroons through the seasons. And St. John's colour, their flag, is a very, very bright red, the same as this colour that the leaves can see.
What do the letters up there mean?
It is Latin.
Not sure.
I learnt it a couple of years ago, but I gave up trying to say it.
Oh, okay.
But it's Latin for one of the founders of St. John's. I wouldn't want to attempt it and give you the wrong information. But that's the chapel, the old chapel.
Wow,
They
oh
now
dear.
use as a library. But yeah, we see the very beautiful Virginia creeper. You know the term blazer? That came from like blazing red. That came from St John's because their colour is blazing red and they had blazers. So that's how that gets that name. Yeah, we have this beautiful building, beautiful accommodation. But you know, it is made up of stone, can be quite cold for the students, they have to share bathrooms and such forth. So they built this in the 1960s. Huge rooms, en suite, so luxurious. But you are in a horrible building. Very ugly. This is a brutalist building under that movement of architecture, as you may be able to tell. It's quite an amazing structure. Like they had to dig down about, you know, almost as tall as the building is to make it last for however many years it's meant to last. But because, you know, it's got cultural relevance to Cambridge, it's on the backs and part of Cambridge's history now, they've named it a Grade 2 listed building. So by law, it will never be destroyed, which I think is a shame. Yeah. So we'll come up to the halfway point where we'll turn around and we'll head back up the river. But if we look around the corner, you can see this black bridge called Magdalen Bridge. This one up here. Now this is the 7th bridge to be built on this spot. And this spot is where the first ever bridge was built with a Roman settled here. And this river was named the Cam. It used to be called the Granter, but then it was named the Cam. They built a bridge on the Cam and they called it the Cam Bridge. So that's what Cambridge gets its name. But now it's called Magdalen Bridge, next to Magdalen College, which is the last college on the river. And interesting, Magdalen is very famous for being the last college to allow